The Biden administration appears to be doing nothing to protect our kids. Some Americans are actually trying. The Biden administration said they're not in favor of hardening schools, but the state of Ohio is. Governor Mike DeWine signing a bill into law yesterday that reduces the amount of training that teachers will need to carry firearms concealed in schools from 700 hours, which is absurd, to just 24 hours. With me to talk about it is the founder of the PatriotAcademy.com, Rick Green. And Rick, I have said for more than a decade that the best thing to do is two things. Make a single entrance to schools, lots of exits, one entry point, and to allow teachers to carry concealed, not force them to do so. But every school in America right now has a CPL carrier or two or three or more, because teachers are people too, believe it or not, and they get CPLs just like everybody else. And so why would we not let them be there? Because we've seen these teachers, unarmed ones, will do everything they can to protect these kids, and the ones that are armed will do the same, won't they?
That's right. That first law of nature the founding fathers referred to of self-defense and defending those that you love kicks in, and there's no amount of legislation that prevents the laws of nature from taking place. The question is, what are they going to have with them when it's time, when that kicks in and they're ready and willing to defend those kids? And you nailed it, man. I mean, these are the simple solutions to you're not going to stop all crime. You're not going to stop all dedicated killers, but you can stop them from being able to wreak havoc for minutes or, in Uvalde's case, for more than an hour. The key factor is proximity to the crazed killer as quick as possible with someone that is trained, not just a good guy or gal with a gun, but a trained good guy or gal with a gun. And that's why the perfect comparison was Uvalde on Tuesday and an hour and 20 minutes of murdering. And the very next day in West Virginia, in just seconds, a sheepdog with a ponytail took out her firearm and ended the life of the perpetrator that was trying to kill 40 people in West Virginia. Nobody died but the bad guy. And schools are no different than anywhere else. Joe Biden's gun-free zones has been an absolute failure. He and the others that pushed this in the early 90s have created carnage. They've created these places where the killers know to go, whether it's the movie theater in Colorado or these schools or other places, where the hospital in Tulsa. We've got to stop this childish fantasy of thinking the gun is the problem. Realize there's evil in the world. There have been mass murder events from day one, usually committed by government. And the only way to stop that mass murderer individual or group of people is more people, exactly like you're saying, armed and trained. And I thank Governor DeWine for getting this number down to a reasonable number. It's almost what we do at Constitutional Defense. We have 28 hours of training in our force.
It brings to 21 the number of states that allow teachers and staff to carry concealed. And if you haven't heard these stats, pay attention. There are 20 states that allow teachers and others to carry concealed currently. Texas was one of those, where 30% of the schools there allow teachers to carry. Uvalde was not among those. Here's the stat that matters. Since Columbine, 22 years now, not one of the schools that does allow the teachers and staff to carry concealed have had a mass shooting or anything even remotely like it. Nothing even close. The fact of the matter, it works, Rick.
100%. And everywhere you increase gun ownership for law-abiding citizens, you get less crime. More guns, less crime. That's the name of John Lott's book from 20 years ago that I used in the legislature when I passed the bill to stop cities from suing gun manufacturers as if it was their fault that a crazed individual took a perfectly legal item and used it to kill people. We don't sue Chevy because of the crazy guy in Wisconsin running over 62 people and injuring them and killing 6 others. The gun is not the problem. The problem's the heart of man. And the more sheepdogs, whether male or female, are trained and ready to defend, and the closer they are to where the action happens, the more lives we're going to save. And I think you said it right, Steve. It's not forcing teachers that don't want to carry. I will say I encourage all teachers that are nervous about this, come through our training. We have had so many people come through that never touched a gun in their life, scared to death at the beginning, and 5 days later using that weapon confidently. It absolutely is the way to stop these things. So we want as many teachers, as many school custodians, principals, whoever, but more people trained. I'd love to see a trained good guy or gal with a gun on every hallway.
Yeah, here's something else I'd like to point out. When Uvalde happened there, and terrible, I mean, just an unthinkable massacre happened. Beto O'Rourke was, you can call him Robbie, but Beto O'Rourke was running about 8 or 9 points behind the governor there. Today, after declaring that he would ban all AR-15s and take care of these guns, he's 19 points down in the polling. Now, Americans do want some additional gun control, but the support for outlawing AR-15s is at its lowest level today than at any time since they began asking the question. Today, it's gone down since the shooting in Texas, not up, and that's a fact, isn't it?
It's 100% fact, and it's the most popular firearm rifle in the country for reasons. It's easy to handle. It's great for women to be able to use. It's got all kinds of versatility. I mean, this is a great invention that is absolutely used 99% for good, and because someone uses it for bad, we don't outlaw the item. And you're right. I think it's less than 50%, and of course, even those that want to ban them, they've bought the lie. I mean, Biden repeats the lie over and over again that his assault weapon ban caused crime to go down. That's all manipulated data. They've bought the lie that, this only happens in the U.S. That's an absolute fraudulent one study that Obama used for 8 years and now Biden's using. Mass murder events are about 3% from the U.S. and we're 4% of the population. That's the truth of the matter. So, there's just a lot of lies around this. And one quote for you, Joseph Story said that there is no small danger. And this is a guy, father of American jurisprudence on the Supreme Court. He said that the Second Amendment and the right of self-defense is the palladium, the protector of all other liberties. But he warned us. He said there's no small danger that indifference, if you don't really care about this kind of stuff, will lead to contempt.
That's right.
And then to disgust, and then you'll undermine this important part of the Bill of Rights. That's what they're doing. They're creating this scare of the particular weapon, and then people have disgust because kids are dying. I'm disgusted that kids are dying. But the solution is not get rid of a weapon. The solution is arm the citizens, arm the teachers. And the founder said that over and over and over again.
That's correct. Rick, always good to have a conversation with you, my friend. Stay
Steve.
armed, stay safe.
got
After
it.
the break, the